Right. We are in seven. No, it's not seven. Sorry. 4.3. Ready, set, go. And we're going to do 9 and 10 to practice solving equations. Okay. And when we're practicing solving equations, Ms. Johnson likes to use SADMAP. And what SADMAP is it's PEMDAS backwards. Because PEMDAS is the order in which you would use to simplify an expression. SADMAP would have you undoing all that in reverse order. Okay, so the very first thing that I do is I say, hey, do you have any subtraction or addition? I'm doing 9 first. And some of you are like, yes, Miss Johnson, there's a -2 right there. Could we add 2 to both sides? And I say, no. Why would I say no? What's the thing? What's preventing me from saying, sure, just add 2 to both sides? Yeah, you're stuck in parentheses, so there's no way. So he actually, that -2 is actually stuck here. So you can't add 2 to both sides until you've gone through the D, the M, the E, and then finally P. So then you're like, okay, Miss Johnson, there's no subtraction or addition. Next, does anybody see any division or multiplication? Does anybody see any division or multiplication? Yes. Very good. Now, some of you see this as a fraction. Does everybody see it as a fraction? Yes. I actually see this as 3 times and divide by. I don't see it as 3/4 of. Does that make sense? Because then if they're separate like that, then I can break them up and switch them, which ends up just being multiplying by the reciprocal. Which makes sense because, there's an invisible times right here. And so the way you get rid of multiplication is you divide. Dividing by a fraction back in the day, 6th grade, I think, means dividing by a fraction means multiply by the reciprocal. So I see this as whichever way you see it, doesn't matter. I'm going to multiply by 4 and divide by 3 on both sides. Okay, some people say things like, oh, these two cancel. And I wouldn't say cancel. I don't actually like the word cancel. Cancel means to go away, erase. But for me, I say that 3 divided by 3 is 1. When I simplify that, right? 4 divided by 4 is 1. So now all that's left on the left side is x minus 2, which is great. And then I can simplify this. Now, some people do 12 times 4 and then they divide by 3, but I like to do 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then that's 16. Either way, you get the same exact answer. Okay, and then last but not least, you would just finish off by adding 2 to both sides, which I'm sure everybody's all comfortable with. So my answer is dun 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 dun, x equals to 18. And then I would take my handy dandy Desmos calculator and I would check my answer. So I would go 3/4 parentheses 18 minus 2. I hope it says 12, and it does. So what does that mean? It means that my answer is perfect. Miss Johnson is excited because I'm not going to lose any points on my final. Does that make sense? So you want to check your answer. Remember, we called this the redemption chapter because we could check every single problem and ensure that I don't lose any of my points. Remember, right now, because we're at the end of the semester, we are point hoarders. We're trying to collect as much information and learning as possible so that we can ensure the highest demonstration of learning on our final. Okay. So note how 9 and 10 are the same. They look exactly the same. The only guy that's different is this little y right here. Okay. So my observation for you, or my hope for you, is that you see how these are the same. So again, we use SADMAP, and I'd be like, hey, do you see any subtraction or addition? And you're like, yes, Miss Johnson, that -2y. But you're like, I'm not going to fall in that trip again, Miss Johnson, because look, it is, in fact, the parentheses. So we can't do it. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, you're exactly right. Okay. So then I have to get rid of that 3 times 4. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4 and then divide by 3. That's how Miss Johnson says it. You don't have to do that. So again, the 3's divide out, the 4's divide out. So I'm left with x minus 2y. equals 2, and then we already did this math, so I already know it's 16. Can't fool me. Okay, again, you're solving for who? X. So who do you want to be by themselves? X. So over here, looky look, what did we do next? We added 2 to both sides. Can you add 2y to both sides? Can we add 2y to both sides? And the answer is, of course. You can. So don't think you can't. The reason why you can is because 2y is a number, right? 2y is a number. So just like you were able to add 2 on the left side, you could add 2y on the right side. So completely legit. So here, my final answer is x, equals 2y plus 16. Ms. Johnson, why'd you put 2y first? Usually we put variables first. Ms. Johnson, but we can't check our answer. You actually can. You actually can check your answer. So any questions on how to solve it? Any questions before I show you? Okay. So when you're checking your answer, it's still exactly the same. So I'm going to copy 3/4. I'm going to leave a lot of space for that x right there. I'm going to leave a lot of space, and I'm going to put minus 2y equals to 12. And then I'm going to take all of this stuff and put it right here. 2y plus 16. Everybody okay with that? So you're still plugging in. Before I plugged in on the calculator because it would calculate for me. The calculator is not going to calculate this for me. Does anybody see anything? Anybody see anything you could do? Yeah. So say it again. Hey, Ms. Johnson. Is 2y minus 2y 0? Yes. Okay, so let's just write the rest of it then. So then we have 3/4 times 16 equals to 12, right? All right, does anybody see what we can do now? Does anybody see anything? Yep. This 16 divides by the 4. What's 16 divided by 4, y'all? What's 16 divided by 4? Yeah. And what's 3 times 4? Dun, 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 dun. Why is Miss Johnson happy? I should put like little eyeballs here, maybe. This doesn't look like eyeballs. Maybe she has eyebrows. She has no nose. Oh well. Yes. Okay. She's happy because 12 equals to 12 means that her answer is correct. 12 equals to 12 means her answer is correct, meaning she can't get rid of it at all. No one could take any points from me or anything like that. Okay, so let's talk about what we did. What we did was we said, oh no, our x is stuck under all this stuff. So the order in which we solve it is going to be very important. And so the biggest thing that we did was we decided that we were going to SAD map. Okay, don't fall under the trap of, oh, look, I can add 2 to both sides. I'm just going to tell you, if your first step was add 2, you didn't get the correct answer, right? Because you didn't undo all those things, okay? When you're solving an equation, you're literally undoing the thing that the going forward would have done in reverse order, right? And we talked about that in our videos as well. Okay, any questions on this? No, Miss Johnson, that was amazing. I know. All right.
I actually have a question.